Hey, Boss Babe Squad, Francesca Jeanette here. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, please click that subscribe button and support your girl. I'm so excited to bring you today my latest DIY creation, an herb garden made out of a pallet. That's right, babes, made out of a pallet. My girls were so excited to help me with this project, and I certainly hope you're inspired. If you are, go ahead and click that like button and also click that notification bell so anytime I post a new video, you'll be the first to be notified. Thanks for watching, babes. Okay, babes, so let's get this party started. Here I am sanding the actual palette down. We're going to be touching this herb garden probably every day. So in order to avoid any splinters and avoid any rips and tears in our clothes, we're going to make sure this bad boy is smooth. There's Kylie sanding right there with 60 grit sandpaper. It is her very first time using a sander and she was so excited. And of course there's my little samurai, Kirsten. She's so cute. So let's get all of this sanded. Now moving on, we're going to take our tape measure and measure from one end to the other of each opening. For this palette, we have 6 openings, which will warrant for 6 different herbs. I'm so excited I get to grow these herbs in this palette. It was a very cheap option than buying a herb, container from the store. But this is going to serve for our base. We're measuring from side to side because what we're going to do is transfer those measurements to a 2x4 that I actually had laying around, and we're going to have 6 bases for each opening. Here's a 2x4. If you all have scrap pieces of wood, you guys, always trying to find a way to reuse those or repurpose them. It'll save you so much money from buying new wood from the hardware store. So now I'm going to transfer the measurements for each opening because they were different to this 2x4, and we're going to cut them to size. Remember, measure twice and cut once, ladies. It'll save you so much time. So you may see all of these pallets that I'm using to brace the 2x4 on. Guys, just drive around to different grocery stores, different furniture stores, and see what pallets they have laying around. These are totally free. I'm using the ryobi circular saw to cut my bases out so that I've measured already. And I do have a corded ryobi circular saw. I opted not to get the battery one because I'm not going to use this that often. So, I have no issue with having to plug it in. So I'm going to cut 6 bases for the sake of the video. I'm just going to show you me sawing 2 bases off. And this was very easy to do. As long as you use clamps, you'll be able to cut the wood very easily. Now I'm taking my drill and I'm going to drill in 2 wood screws per base. I'm holding one of the cut 2x4s with one hand and I'm drilling with the other while my baby girl records, of course. And I am using wood screws because they are stronger and they work well for the outdoors. So here's an overhead view of what the 2x4s look like inside of the pallet as they serve as the base for my plants and my herbs. Here's the finished product. I'm just going to check for sturdiness and to make sure they're at the right depth. The bottoms of the 2x4 are flush with the bottoms of each opening of the pallet to prevent any additional fallout. And here are the deckmate screws that I used. They're awesome. Turn the pallet upside down just so I can check for the flushness of the 2x4 and the bottom of the pallet openings, and they're good to go. Now what we're going to do is paint our palette with the Olympic WaterGuard semi-transparent wood staining sealer in the color cedar. I love the look of cedar, but cedar, y'all, is so expensive. One 4x4x8 post can run you about $26 at the hardware store, and that is so expensive. These palettes were free, babes, so always, save your coins. If you like what you're seeing now, please make sure that you subscribe and support your girls because this is good stuff, y'all. Here my girls painting the palette. This was their most favorite part of the entire project, was the painting Of course, I have their face protected with masks because this stuff is toxic. And Kylie was such a great help. Here she is painting the sides. We're painting some of the faces of the palette, but 3 sections, 3 panels on the front of the palette, we actually saved to paint black, a matte black. Matte black and cedar is so sexy, you guys. And it's actually what I painted another project that I did that you may can peep in this slide right here. We did not paint the insides of the openings because we want to protect our herbs from any toxins, so we only painted the edges and the outside of it. Here's the Vigoro weed control barrier that we're going to place inside the openings with a staple gun. And that's just a manual staple gun, you guys. You do not have to go out and get an electric one. Since I'm not going to be laying weed barrier down against wood, I opted to get the cheap one, which was about $14 to $16 from the local hardware store. So you're just going to roll that weed barrier out to the length of your palette and cut, cut, cut. Now I'm going to cut down the middle so that I have weed barrier for both sides of the top openings. And we're going to have a little bit extra left over, but we're going to just work from one end to the other, as you can see. I'm going to fold over the edges so that it is aesthetically pleasing. Some people will just staple and cut off the excess, but I just chose to fold the edges over so that it looked nice and neat. And you're just going to staple around the edges until you've completed one opening. And you're going to repeat this step for the other 5 openings as well. Now you're going to see in the front that I have a little bit of excess. I am going to end up cutting that off because that amount of excess is actually going to be enough for a whole nother opening. So as much material as you can use, ladies, use it because it's going to save you some coins. Waste not, want not. So every little scrap that you have, use it. I'm just finishing this opening up, folding the edges that I just cut, making sure that it's nice and neat, and stapling it to the inside of the palette opening. Fold, 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 staple, 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 make it nice and neat. Now I'm going to add the Vigoro pea pebbles, is what they call them. This helps with drainage of the water, making sure the soil for my herbs don't get too soaked up. It allows the water to have somewhere to travel. Alright y'all, the sun is going down. I'm going to put my herbs in here once my girls get home so they can partake in the funness. As you can see, I've added my weed barrier, some pea gravel for drainage, so the water isn't just in there collecting in the soil. But I'm super excited for my herb garden to come to fruition. And here are all of my plants so far, babes. We have our herbs, our tomatoes, our lettuce, our squash, our zucchini. But these specifically are my herbs. We have the basil, the mint, the rosemary, the cilantro's coming in, the parsley's coming in. So we're going to cover the pea gravel with this Miracle-Gro moisture control potting mix. I'll leave a description below. So that's going to be our base over the pea gravel. And here we're just going to take the basil and split it carefully in half, because I want a 2x2 situation. With the width of the openings of the palette, it just made more sense to split these in 2 so it wouldn't just be a big bulk of dirt trying to get smushed in there. And we're going to cover it with some more potting soil so that the roots are not exposed. Make sure you do this part carefully, babe, so that you don't mess up the roots. And as always, after you plant anything, throw a little water on there. The plants need water, you guys. So here's our basil. I'm so excited to use that with pizza and spaghetti. And here is our mint. So we're going to do the same process. I believe this is chocolate mint, but it's going to taste so good in teas. If you love tea, get you some mint, ladies. If you love having cocktails, get you some mint, ladies. It's always going to be good to have laying around, and it smells so good in the garden. And here are our herbs planted. Thanks so much for watching and supporting my channel, you guys. I love bringing this stuff to you all, new and innovative ideas to do for the low. This has been the most fun project I've ever done, the most stress-free project I've ever done. And I just thank you all for just tuning in with me and watching this from beginning to end to see what we've come up with. And I hope you're inspired to do the same. Thanks so much for tuning in, babes. Bye.